Welcome back to Lantern Insights. Today for our full league, we're going to be showcasing kind of a new sideboard plan. We got a bit of a teaser earlier this week, but this will be a full league kind of showcasing this main plan of using Tarmogoyf in the sideboard, which is not really a card that you see too often from Lantern. Before I get into Tarmogoyf, if you're not familiar already with the core engine of Lantern of Insight plus Codex Shredder, Lantern is a card that allows both players to play with the top card of their library revealed, and then Codex Shredder taps to have one player mill a card. So ideally you get to a scenario where both people, you can see both their libraries, and then you're able to use Shredder to basically stop them from drawing anything relevant. In addition to that, we have Ensnaring Bridge. It prevents all creatures from attacking if they have any power. And so we can usually stop attacking, and then just basically you want to mill anything that interacts with Ensnaring Bridge. In terms of Tarmogoyf in the sideboard, in some ways it's functioning as a replacement for Leyline of Sanctity, where our mana base, it's hard to cast Leyline if you end up drawing it, and so it's there kind of to fill a similar role, where against something like Scam or Burn, you can bring in Tarmogoyf plus Shadow Spear and hopefully be able to close out the game a bit better that way. We play enough types on our own, especially with hand disruption. We're likely to have Artifact. Urza Saga can put enchantment and land into the graveyard. Tutor and hand disruption are sorceries, so Tarmogoyfs can actually get pretty big, and I think it's a very interesting idea to try out. As for the rest of the deck, we're kind of a core Gruul deck, playing Profane Tutor and Ancient Stirrings. Only 2 copies of Stirrings, but it is good card selection. We have Assassin's Trophy as our removal. And in terms of the sideboard, playing Dreams of Steel and Oil. Just a good card against kind of any creature decks, really there for Titan, as it can be pretty powerful against them. Fatal Push for early creatures, Nature's Claim for things like Leyline Binding, Leyline of Sanctity, any artifact like Hardened Scales. We got Cursed Totem for Scales and Yawgmoth. Damping Sphere, obviously Tron, Titan, anything like that, and Torpor Orb, 4-color Titan, anything that relies on Enter the Battlefields. But mainly just trying to highlight Tarmogoyf, and hopefully we get some good games where it can really shine. Anyway, that's it for the deck tech, and I will see you in round 1. Well, starting round 1 off the draw against Matty Guy 13. Let's see how our hand is here. Got Saga, Lantern, no hand disruption early. I think we still keep it. Hopefully, I don't like having Academy Ruins in hand. Sacred Foundry tapped. That makes it much better. We're gonna lead on Thoughtseize here, just see what we're working with. Ooh. And Thopther Foundry, I think we take Portable Hole here. We kind of have interaction for the rest of it, and we'll be able to get a Needle for the One Ring. Thopther Foundry is going to be quite an interesting matchup, though. Yeah, fellow artifact deck. I think they have the right color mana for Foundry. But hopefully they'll probably put Pithing Needle on Urza Saga if we play it here. But they could also do it on Codex Shredder. The good news is that just creating infinite 1/1s doesn't beat us. Obviously Infinite Life is pretty good. Next turn we're likely going Forest Stirrings Profane Tutor, as we don't really want them to have this Urza Saga. Probably putting Needle on Saga here, I would imagine. And they are going to get the One Ring down for a turn. Oh no, they put it on Shredder. Alright, so they are very familiar with Lantern, enough to needle the correct card. In that case, we can likely lock them out somewhat here. Yeah, we're just going to lead on Stirrings. Hope to get a Pixis, which is pretty good. Any order. They likely have other needles here, so I don't think we want them drawing this Saga. We do know their other card in hand isn't super relevant. Stoneforge Mystic, we don't really care about, probably just a way of finding Sword of the Meek. Urza we see here, Urza we will care about, but if they likely just slam the ring here, which I suspect they do. And again, infinite life doesn't beat us. Yeah, this art is terrible. Yeah, you cannot read that at all. So they do have an Urza in hand. It's just something to be aware of. It's not a huge concern. We have answers to it, and it is going to hit them for 1 a turn, although they will gain infinite life. And here we are going to have to try to dump our hand as quickly as possible, just because they will be able to make 1/1s, infinite 1/1s pretty soon here. I don't know exactly what they were thinking on for so long there, but we are going to shut off this card advantage. That's just about what's the best way of emptying our hand, and I think it's suspend tutor, hold up trophy for whatever they, and if they go for Urza here, we can trophy either Thopther Foundry or Urza. So we do have some answers here. Genius Smith is kind of problematic, but I think they have more problematic cards. And importantly, getting to 4 mana here is important, as if we have to use Pixis this turn, we can still, if we draw 1-drop, we can play it and the bridge next turn. So they got Cavern. So you're going to tap an artifact here for Stoneforge Mystic, which is going to find Sword of the Meek. And I think here we just are going to trophy Urza. The Thopther combo is very interesting. Obviously, lots of talk about playing it in the past in Lantern. So they're going to float a bit of blue. I mean, like, they'll be able to create some 1/1s here, but that doesn't just beat us. What would be unfortunate is them drawing Portable Hole. I don't know how many they play, but definitely possible they have some. Yeah, so they get Sword of the Meek. Definitely possible that they play some in their deck that they'll be able to get. Sorry, it's possible that they will have Portable Holes that they can find off of the card we know about, whose name I forget off the top of my head. The blue, no, 1 and a white creature enters. You look at your top 4, get an artifact from them. So they're just going to make a couple flyers with their floating mana. But importantly, while summoning sick, none of this kills us yet. And oh yeah, we got a Profane Tutor coming off here. No, next turn. Yeah, we're just gonna play out Bridge, as we don't want this 8/8 specifically what we really care about hitting us. And importantly, Portable Hold doesn't hit Ensnaring Bridge. We do have this trophy. We'll likely be trophying this Pithing Needle next turn, as we would like to have access. Ingenious Smith, that is the one. Yeah, so it gets artifacts and it grows. Good card in the deck. I think I like the shell that they're playing here. But in this case, we are likely going to trophy the Pithing Needle, as it's probably, hopefully it's just a one-of to find off Urza Saga, which they are likely playing, and then trophy that, probably get Codex Shredder off the Profane Tutor, and they concede here. I guess with the Profane Tutor coming off, I think they knew they were in tough shape. This won't be a Tarmogoyf matchup. It's not a card that's very relevant here. Torpor Orb is very good. Dreams of Steel and Oil hits most of their deck. Nature's Claim, likewise, is also very strong. Cursed Totem mainly just shuts down Urza, so I don't think we'll bring it in here. In terms of what we're taking out, we do probably a few of the slower cards. I can see them running to Fairy in the sideboard. We cut Tutor. We cut 2 copies of Duress for 2 copies of Dreams of Steel and Oil, which importantly can also exile a Sword of the Meek if they discard it early. Actually, I kind of like Cursed Totem if they have Emery. Let's take this out. Trim a Trophy. 7. Trim a Stirrings. Bauble? Maybe Cookbook. I think we have enough ways of stopping them from comboing that, you know, if they're just making 1/1s, we should have enough time to play Bridge if they're only making like a few 1/1s a turn. The reason to leave Cookbook in there would be to keep the hand empty. I like this hand here, a bit risky with Glimmer Void being our land, but hopefully you can play 2 artifacts on turn 1 and be in good shape. Or we can just play Blooming Marsh on turn 1 and be in much better shape. And here, I think I'm probably not going to use the Codex Shredder plus Mishra's Bauble trick to like look at what I would normally do of looking at my own top card. I wonder what they're playing red for. But I don't think I'll look at my own top card, as I want to suspend Tutor on 2, and I don't want to be susceptible to just 1 artifact removal spell. And good news is they won't have access to anything like Force of Vigor. They get Kaldra here, which likely means they either already have Sword of the Meek or they are siding out of the Sword of the Meek combo. We can play another Blooming Marsh and just suspend. Do we suspend or do we Curse Totem? Yeah, I think we suspend the Tutor. And then here, at this end step, we will, like, they can hit us for 5 with Kaldra. We're not too worried about that. They may have sided the combo out, or they just may feel Kaldra is more relevant here. I think Curse Totem would be strong against Urza. They may be on 2 lands. That could be it. I mean, the clock from Kaldra Complete against Lantern is pretty slow. Like 4 turns, we're gonna find something in time, and I mean, there's a lot of things that can kill us in 4 turns. So, it's different from the decks that really care about playing to the board. Codex Shredder, I don't want right now. Like, contrary to decks that play against the board a lot, we don't really care about the kind of indestructibility of it. If we just go Lantern, Curse Totem, and then see where we're at this turn. And we may have to get a Needle on the One Ring. I think that's a card they can have here, and I don't hate grabbing that off of Profane Tutor, as I think the One Ring is 100% a card they would have left in. They are leaving Stoneforge back. Maybe they haven't either have an answer for Cursed Totem, or I think if they answer Cursed Totem, we're reasonably happy here. I think it's Darksteel Citadel. I would like to draw this Thoughtseize. Unfortunately, it is going to be milled. They got a Thopther Foundry. I mean, we do have an answer for that. They probably would have just cast the One Ring if they were playing it here. So I think the right pick actually is just Gardens. It allows us to get our hand a lot emptier and will allow us to have greater solidification of the lock in a turn. But for now, we're just going to play Bridge. I maybe could have got Hand Disruption there. Metallic Rebuke. Alright, that's a bit unfortunate. Well, you're gonna have to dig for... no. Yeah, so we'll be using Nature's Claim at some point, as we kind of have to find a bridge right away. I mean, if we go for Hand Disruption there, we then don't have the land available to us, so I don't think it... Sword of the Meek... Let's mill ourselves here, see if we can find a bridge. Needle is not useful. Yeah, I think I'm just going to blow up the Foundry. If you could use it on something like of my own in order to gain 4, but if I do that, they're able to make enough 1/1s that I'll take more than 8 next turn anyway, as they only need 3 1/1s. They can... I think they can make enough 1/1s that they get under bridge here. So I think we're likely just dead either way. Well, they won't gain the life. Yeah, we're dead. We can't draw anything. We have no outs under the needle. I mean, yeah, that's a play draw kind of thing where if we're on the play in that situation, we do win. I wonder if that makes Cookbook worth it in order to Torpor Orb. No, I think it does enough. Kind of want to bring back in Cookbook, and then maybe cut a not Nature's Claim, Ancient Stirrings. Run it like that, and we'll see if we can get off to a bit better start on the play. Moto wants to cooperate here. Yes, we would like to play first. No, one land. I mean, like if one of these was a lantern, I'd probably keep it and just establish the early lock, but I can't keep that. This is better, not a lot better. I guess we'll ditch the removal. I don't love it, but the Saga can find us an answer to something. We can cast Dreams next turn off of this Gardens. So I don't hate the position we're in here. Obviously, we still have to find a couple other pieces, but we can decently quickly get the full lockdown. We're going to bobble ourselves here. I think a second Saga is totally fine. Gardens can be a bit awkward on the early turns here, where we aren't going to be able to pay for the Sentinel. Or we could play Lantern, pay for Sentinel. I think I just like getting the info here. No. And then let's see what they are working with. They do have a Wear Tear in hand. And importantly, this list isn't playing any Welding Jars. However, I think we're going to take the Stoneforge. I think there's a decent shot they fire off Wear Tear at... Take Stoneforge, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think it's a pretty decent chance that they fire off Wear Tear at the Urza Saga here, meaning that we won't... Like, if they do that, I think we're in better shape than if they hold it for bridge. Their only red mana is the Springleaf Trump, so I guess we could have took that, but I think it was a bit too risky. They draw a Saga of their own, which will find a Pithing Needle, which is a bit unfortunate here. They are going to Wear Tear. Probably casting Wear Tear. As they tapped for white, they would have cast for colorless. And they are, as we predicted. Not the end of the world. Obviously, it's good. We're just going to play another one and play out Lantern. This time we are going to pay. Yes. I mean, we don't really care about stone. We don't have death triggers. Yes, it's instant speed draw, but I think there's a lot more that we care about, such as the metallic rebuke that was hiding right under it. So yeah, I think in that scenario, like if they're probably holding up to make constructs here. Yeah, you can get in with your Esper Sentinel. I mean, this Urza Saga finding Pithing Needle is not going to be good for us. I think it's probably their best thing that they. I mean, that's not the right time to make a construct. So they're holding. No, they can't play Rebuke. They're gonna play the Stone. Alright, they played the Island and the Drums. They got Plains, Nettle Cyst in hand. Gonna mill the Rebuke now. And so we will likely be getting a Pixis off of Urza Saga, just because they are probably getting. I mean, unless they're playing Haywire Might, but I mean, we haven't seen green mana. Portable Hole we have to mill now, as they have Stone. It is instant speed draw, but we can definitely play around that, just timing when we make our mills. The One Ring obviously is pretty strong, but if they, I mean, they definitely should have popped Stone of Eric there. Yeah, as we suspected, grabbing Pithing Needle. Naming Shredder. Not the end of the world. Pixis will be big here. Yeah, and having Lantern, having two lanterns in this scenario does give us some like reasonable, like it's kind of a second safety valve mill rock. And then after we get Pixis, we'll likely use Gardens. I mean, it depends what's on top. If we see a lot of bridges on top, then we won't. But if not, just a Talisman. They played the plane. Oh, I don't know where the planes went. I mean, Cursed Totem on top would not actually be super relevant here. I wonder if they don't. So we can get a Pixis of Pandemonium. And then we're going to play the Lantern with the colorless floating. I think we do let them draw the Ingenious Smith, as we do want to Thoughtseize it. Importantly, Esper Sentinel is not a May ability. They do have to draw a card, which means that we can actually get in situations where we use it to mill them out faster, where we cast spells into it and just say no, not quite yet, but once we have a secure lock established, we got Plains Nettle Cyst again. Once we have a secure lock established, then we can use that to just mill through extra cards of theirs. But it will take us a little bit to establish a secure lock. Stoneforge we don't care about. Here we are going to use, I mean, Nature's Claim on Pithing Needle. Very, very timely answer. And then from here, this game should be locked. And they concede. So obviously they were very familiar with the matchup here. I think anyone conceding here, obviously they knew Lantern, like they were playing Pithing Needle, but good showing for the deck. No Tarmogoyfs in that game, but just normal Lantern stuff. All right, round two once again on the draw. Right, we have Brian Cook. Huh. Yeah, big fan. I know Brian Cook. Epic Storm. He's probably on some variant of Lotus Field. Something Storm. But I don't like this hand. We're gonna mulligan. This hand has the lock, so we'll keep it. No hand disruption, which could be a bit unfortunate if he's something green-red Storm. Would be my best guess. We're gonna lead on Bobble. We're gonna Bobble ourselves here. If it's a land, we will Duress, and if it is a spell, we would Pixis there. He could have main deck Veil. Wouldn't like stun me. Ooh, oh, this is Neobrand. Pithing Needle is going to be pretty good here. Let me read Elven Farsight. Scry 3, then reveal the top card. If it's a creature, you get to draw. Nourishing Shoals Summoner's Pact. I think we just take the Pact and lock him next turn. Hope that he doesn't draw anything too relevant. Yeah, he can cycle Generosent to get a Surveil land. He'll likely have ley lines in the sideboard. Well, Brian Cook, for those of you that don't know, is I believe he's the Epic Storm. He runs that YouTube channel. A lot of mainly Storm focused videos across formats. So a lot of Lotus Field in Pioneer, like the Epic Storm in Legacy. Chancellor of the Dross we don't care about at this point. So their hand is that plus 1 unknown. I mean, like, good game, buddy. What can he draw here? I mean, he only draws off the Farsight if it's a creature, and like I don't really think we're too concerned with the Allosaurus Riders at this point. And another Saga. Abundant Harvest is a good card to draw here. Is likely going to put a non-land into his hand. But we will get to see what it is. He does have a farmer. Oh, he chooses land? Alright then. Elven Farsight, yeah, you can't draw. He can't draw the Eldritch Evolution, so I think we're pretty okay with that. The Farsight does seem like a cool card to try out. Hopefully, you know, it could be in a YouTube video of his at some point. I think that would be pretty sweet, because I've watched him for a while now. For those of you that don't know, I also play in paper like Lotus Field, Lotus Breach. It's a paper deck, so he's going to draw the rider. Again, not too concerned with that. I do think he should be casting his riders here just to apply pressure. He's going to leave the evolution on top, but we are going to mill it. So, I wonder if Needle on Grizzlebrand gets a concession. We're likely just playing creatures. He is going to go play out some Allosaurus Riders. What did he pitch to it? Chancellor of the Dross and Allosaurus Rider. Allosaurus Rider, Allosaurus Rider, Chancellor of the Dross. So he has double Nourishing Shoal in hand. We do not have Grafdigger's Cage in the main deck of this version. Endurance is not the end of the world. We can play around it, get to a pretty winning position, I think, and we're going to be able to make constructs here that are bigger than this 4/4 fairly easily. Yeah, endurance is good, but not particularly useful. I mean, it's when he goes to combo, it will come up, but we will not let him get to combo. Yeah, get in for 4. And then end step, we're going to make a construct. Gut shot we don't care about. Honestly, we probably win this game by beatdowns. Saga on top, so we are going to order the triggers. I mean, I'm just gonna get another Codex Shredder at this point, we just want to keep the lock up, and he doesn't really have any way of getting out of it. And drawing a swamp next turn will matter. He doesn't have a land. We importantly can't block one of these with the rider. I mean, we're just gonna swing. If he hits us for 4 next turn, like, we just say no blocks and then make them both into. Next turn we can drop 3, 4. I mean, we can have lethal next turn if he attacks. So he's dead here. Hopefully we can. I think post board we're gonna look Veil of Summers are likely coming in. Leyline of Sanctity are likely coming in. Quite a fair number of cards here. You can attack with Griselbrand if we don't have an answer to it. So we do kind of have to leave the bridges in. We want Curse Totem. Is very good. We're gonna want Nature's Claim for Leyline. And he does, like, he has the potential to go off on turn 1. So he can put us in an awkward position. Take out Dreams of Steel and Oil. Can hit like Allosaurus Rider. I think we'll consider it. I don't think this is a matchup where we want to switch to Tarmogoyf, as there is a world where he gets a Griselbrand out when we have like a Pithing Needle on it, and then he can start attacking with it, and we do need a bridge in that case, as the lifelink will be able to race us. I think Profane Tutor is probably a bit too slow for this matchup, as it is going to be very fast. Pithing Needle is going to be very good. Pixis will be good if he drops a Leyline. We can. I don't really want to trim a trophy. I don't want to trim a duress either. Maybe let's try trimming a Stirrings. So it was pretty timely hand disruption in game 1. I mean, that really came through. Obviously, with the Summoner's Pact, he is still an Eldritch Evolution away from winning. This hand has an answer to Leyline or Griselbrand on turn 2. I think we'll keep it. If he has the turn 1, he has the turn 1. So he's going to get 1 green mana. If he has the turn 1, we don't have an opening hand that can beat that. He does shock Breeding Pool. He looks like he may have the turn 1 here. Yeah, I think we just concede to that. I'll ask him. Well, let's see. I mean, it is a cool combo. A lot of clicking, but it is very deterministic. I don't know exactly what version of it he's on, but he's likely playing. We saw Endurance and Gutshot. Man. Oh, he's shown it already. So I'll concede here. Yeah, I mean that's the turn 1 from Neobrand. Like, very very fast deck. Hopefully on the play, like a Pithing Needle in turn 1 can shut him down a lot. Yeah. I mean, I think on the play, hand disruption, maybe a bit more of a premium. Curse Totem could be slow. Yeah, I think Curse Totem bit slow. Dreams is probably. Yeah, I think we'll do this. If he has Leyline, he has Leyline. And we'll see. Hopefully, I mean, we're looking for Needle in the opener, or hand disruption, or an answer to Leyline. I mean, yes, keep. He doesn't have hand disruptions. We are going to go for Thoughtseize. See what he's working with. Oh, well, he not quite have had. He would have had a turn 2. So we're going to take Neoform. We're going to play out the Bauble here, and this maybe an Urza Saga win. We're going to leave the Bauble. I think it's more useful to us if we draw Millrock. Just plug our own content a little bit. Root Maze. He left it on top, and he casts out the Rider here. Assassin's Trophy is good. So he played the Hedge Maze, played the Rider, exiling Ent and Harvest. So he has 2 lands and 1 unknown in hand. We're going to play the Needle, naming Griselbrand. Yeah, just Griselbrand. And then we're going to Bauble him. Well, he can get a Griselbrand onto the battlefield. That is a pretty good card to draw there. But he can't use it. So he's going to get in. Puts us down. Fortunately, it's still a 3-turn clock. I wonder if he has anything else he can get. It is just Griselbrand. Oh no, it's a 2-turn clock because Neoform drops the. I mean, it's kind of going to be: do we find a land for bridge or not? Another Griselbrand in hand. I mean, just luck of the. Do we hit a land? Like, if we hit a land, we find Lantern of Saga. If not, then we lose to Griselbrand. Alright, here's a moment of truth. Let's see. I'm trying to think here. I don't think there's anything we can find that saves us here. We did take Cookbook out, though it would save us here. Yeah, there's nothing. Very, very unfortunate not drawing the 3rd land here. Bauble. There's nothing we can draw. No, because we just have black mana, which means we don't have anything. Yeah, we just have black mana, so we can't even like get a Bauble and hope to draw into Nature's Claim in order to gain us life here. Yeah, no 3rd land. So tough way to end it. But good on Cook here. I think I conceded. Yeah, I conceded. Just lagging a bit. Yeah. Reveal hand. Yeah, we had just needed a land for bridge there. So I think this matchup is still good, but yeah, real tough one not finding it. Wonder what the card. Oh, I guess it won't show us. Yeah, tough one, but hopefully we can get him back in round 3. Alright, round 3, finally got one on the play. Yes, we would like to go first, just hoping to bounce back against the last land. Here, 5 lands, Saga, not keepable, and easy mulligan. I mean, yes, we will keep this, probably put Assassin's Trophy back, lead on, we'll put back Trophy. Here, I think we just are going to Shredder plus Bauble, as we really want to find the 2nd land with this hand. As with the 2nd land, we can go Lantern, Thoughtseize next turn, and apart from Regiman, like, we're not too concerned with most of the 1-drops in the format. And anyway, if you're still watching at this point, oh, Amulet. Alright, well, let's see how bad their hand is. If you're still watching at this point and you are a fan of Lantern Control, mean a lot if you would subscribe. Stay tuned for future videos. Got lots of new content every week. We're gonna play Bauble, Spire, Lantern. I mean, we have a bridge. Thoughtseize. I mean, Besager's good, but we can. Should have Thoughtseize first. I mean, oh, you got a Lantern. I mean, yeah, Beseju is going to be good, but we have a Pithing Needle for it. So I think we just take Azusa here. It's a more powerful card, and then hope to find a third land. And I think it really depends what they. If they just play Beseju here, I think we're in trouble. I mean, prime time, obviously we're gonna mill that. Interesting hand that they kept it. I would have thought that would have been a relatively easy mulligan for them. I guess not. They're gonna play Gardens and hopefully just copy Amulet of Vigor. Oh, this is huge. We're like very Summoner's Pact. It's not good. What? So we drop Ensnaring Bridge. Honestly, I wouldn't mind another Shredder under this bridge. Profane Tutor isn't great, but it's something. Cookbook is actively bad here. Pithing Needle on Beseju. Beseju who endures. And we'll see. Can we find a third land before they kill us with constructs? Odawara on top, go figure. They don't have Pact. Crumbling Vestige, we don't really care about. Yes, it ramps them a bit, but if they're ramping into O3s, like they don't have any payoffs. So like O3 Arboreal Grazer, make as much mana as you want. You can't draw cards. They're gonna have a good number of artifacts, so their constructs are going to be fairly big, but all we gotta, I mean, I think even if we tutor for land off Profane Tutor, which would feel very bad, not drawing one between here and then, but it would still keep us in this. Really wild hand. Let's see, they played the Vestige, played the Beseju, and importantly, they don't have any mountains, so if we can keep them off a Dryad. Let's see what's under this Odawara. Man, that's that is very unfortunate. They don't have a bounce land though, so we just have to find a Cultivator Colossus. I mean, they have a lot of payoffs, so it is going to be harder to mill them. If they play Dryad here, they importantly can't play any make constructs, or make a construct. They can make a second one in a turn, or they can untap it, right? So we're probably going to have to find a Assassin's Trophy, as we're off the Profane Tutor. I mean, we really need a third land, which hopefully picks us. I mean, this doesn't really matter because Profane Tutor's coming off, and we have to tutor for trophy in order to answer this Dryad. I mean, they have no cards in hand, so like we are in a. I mean, I'm pretty happy to get to this position against Titan, but I would like to close it out. Colossus, obviously, we can't let them have. Forest, we can. And yeah, I think a lot is going to come down to what we hit off of, like if we get this third land or not. So they're going to make another construct. They're going to hit us for 5, 6 this turn, put us down to 10. And then next turn they'll have lethal, so we have to play bridge first. They can hit us to 7. I mean, yeah, we're not in great shape. Importantly, Saga does take them off. Oh, they get Expedition map for Otawara, and we are probably dead. I think we are dead. Yeah. I think they get Otawara here, right? I mean, Titan's so hard. Like, we get to like such a good Simic Growth Chamber. Yeah, they can just burn us out from here, right? So like they're able to shoot us for 3. Yeah, I think we just die to this Dryad. Maybe we should have shuffled it. When we take 6 off it next turn, we gotta exile the Summoner's Pact into prime time. Go figure. I mean, we can't tutor for a land. That much is for sure. Like we are just dead to the ETBs. Or if we get, yeah, there's nothing we can get here. We don't have Fatal Push. We don't have enough lands. If we get Trophy, real tough one here. I think we like Trophy. I guess we grab Trophy and then another Ensnaring Bridge. Not another Trophy. I mean, I don't think it matters here. They can just replay. Like they can just play 2 lands. So I think we just die. But we'll make them play it out. Oh, that's a tough one against Titan. I think that was very close to winnable. I think if this cookbook was a land, we're in much better shape. If yeah, they just play another Valakut and hit us for a bunch here. So it's very tough one against Titan, but we are going to be able to work with some of our sideboard plan here. I think it's we're gonna look. We got a sideboard plan for it, kind of mainly focused Dreams of Steel and Oil, Damping Sphere, Torpor Orb, Nature's Claim. Importantly, hits both Dryad and Amulet of Vigor, so it should be a good card for us. So for boarding, we want these 6 in. We're going to take Cookbook out. I'm not totally sold on our plan here in terms of what I'll take. We can trim 1 bridge. I believe the Duresses will be a bit slow, and Profane Tutor is sort of slow. I'm going to sideboard like that. Not totally confident in this, but I think we'll give it a shot. Oh, that first game was hard. Pretty rough running the last 2 games. Game 3 against Neobrand, and then game 1 here. Just catching some bad beats. I mean, like if we're not going to keep this hand, what kind of hand are we going to keep? I don't know if it necessarily beats Titan. Probably doesn't, but we'll give it a shot. If it's a hand like they had the first game, we might have a chance. If it's a better hand, then we're in trouble. And if they just have a turn 2, then they have the turn 2 good beats. Hopefully, I mean, if we bobble into end disruption here or something, I mean, there's cards we can find. Okay, let's see what they're up to. We will put this turn 1 Valakut is definitely a slower draw from them. Forest on top is not what we want right now. Looking for higher impact cards. Let's see what we draw off Bauble. Spire, I mean, that's better than a Forest. Academy Ruins is not much better than a Forest. I'm just going to play Saga into Lantern. And and Needle on Beseju. I got the Thoughtseize next turn. Beseju, who enters. So we'll see. I mean, starting on a Valakut is one of the better openings that they could have for us, like from our point of view, and another Gruul Turf on top. I mean, this is pretty strong. Do you just make constructs here? I mean, there's no way they can have a hand that's that slow. Like, I mean, we're gonna Thoughtseize. Like, there's no way we can just take the whoa. I mean, if they're ramping into like hard cast, Dryad's good, but we have more answers to it. I'm gonna take the prime time here. They can't play Ring next turn, so we'll be able to get a Needle for it and just take out their big. Well, we actually could have just made constructs and been all right. We could have just played Academy Ruins, made constructs. I mean, good. Like, they have to play Valakut here. Anything else will return a land to their hand. So, like, I mean, here I'm definitely making a construct. And then we'll put Needle in the One Ring. I mean, I'm pretty surprised. Again, their hands. I mean, they're giving us opportunities, which we don't usually get a ton of against Titans. So we gotta hopefully capitalize on the ones we're given. One Ring. Like, we're all right here. We don't really want to draw Stirrings, but we'll have to see what they get. Splunking is going to let their future lands enter untapped. Summoner's Pact we won't let them have. They actually may be able to somewhat pop off here. They can play Dryad, that's for sure. So we'd likely have to suspend the Profane Tutor here, just to find an answer to Dryad. They can play a Vesuva as Valakut, untap it, play Grazer. I mean, the deck is a good deck in Modern for a reason, and is basically our hardest matchup. So we'll see. I mean, I do kind of regret not making constructs. It was absolutely the correct decision, but sometimes the correct decision isn't the fun one. Build them again, see what's under the pact. Teleria West. Come on, man. Yeah, this is a very, very hard matchup. Let's get in with Construct. Jump with Grazer. They are going to be able to shoot it down. Like, do I sacrifice Lantern here? I think they have like so many threats that, like, if they channel it to get Odawara, I'm kind of alright with that. Yep, return a land to your hand. It's 5 other mountains. They need 1 more land to turn Valakut on. So they can transmute Teleria West, Urza Saga, Summoner's Pact. Oh, they can Summoner's Pact for Titan, and we're dead here. Yeah, right. Cultivator Colossus. We are also dead to that. Yeah, because they're gonna be able to put a bunch of Valakuts in, shoot us for a bunch. Tough way to go out to Amulet there, but. Very, very difficult matchup, and we back for round 3 shortly. Alright, so once again on round 4 here. Sorry, we're actually moving along decent pace. Under an hour for the first 3 rounds is pretty good. Easy mulligan here. You want to usually pair pair Profane Tutor with a bit more high impact cards. Again, easy mulligan. I think this hand doesn't do much. I mean, this hand we will keep back Thoughtseize, nope, not Thoughtseize, and one bauble. And I mean, this is a functional hand. Not great by any means, but can do things. Flooded Strand pass. Obviously, a lot of decks this could be. Drawing that Saga is pretty big here, as if this is a control deck, Saga will be one of our main avenues for fighting that strategy. Let's give it a see. Jetmir's Garden. This could be Domain. I don't know exactly what this could be. Jetmir's Garden is not one of the triomes you see a ton. Usually it's a different split of triome into Shockland in order to get Domain. This is Mountain Forest. They got everything but blue. What? No way you're just main decking Haywire Might like that. Unhinged. Who main decks Haywire Might? Glimmer Void, we're not going to want because we don't have any artifacts right now because main deck Haywire Might. No way. What are they on? Oh, that is not exactly how I thought this was going to go. It's a few too many Blooming Marsh. What are you working with? Main deck and what? I'm so confused. We're actually going to play the other Blooming Marsh here just to be a bit more mana efficient. We'll get a bridge, but not really happy with that. They're out here main decking Haywire Might? Right, so they're playing Urza Saga and this is a brew, alright. I mean, this is yikes. I mean, the playset of Blooming Marsh is not it these days. Not quite where you want to be. Wow, I'm just stunned by the just naked turn 2. I mean, the Surveil Land obviously very strong here. Very good cards in Modern. They'll see play in tons of decks. In terms of like the Surveil Lands in relation to Lantern, I mean, we're not going to play them, and they're not that great against us, as we can usually, like, we can always mill in response to Surveil. So it's the same reason why Dragon Rage Channeler isn't that big of a threat. Wow, I mean, that's, oh, we can't even play it. Yeah, I'm just gonna play it here. Limit their cards. Yeah, we don't get to make a construct, but just keeps them off 2 extra cards. But so like against us, same reason why like Dragon Rage Channeler doesn't matter that much. Where once we have the lock going, like we're usually in pretty good shape already, and Surveil doesn't put, like, we always have a chance to respond after Surveil before they go to draw. And so once we have the lock, like if they're oh, we're so dead. Bounce the needle, draw. I mean, we are gonna needle to fairy needle One Ring. Like, he knows we can just get another one, right? So we are gonna get the double needle. Come on, man. Well, yeah, I mean, they have drawn basically like the perfect cards to beat everything we do. Neil and Fairy Time. I mean, you could make an argument before they played Bowmasters that you didn't need it. I think here, obviously, we do. Needle, I mean, we kind of have to stop them from drawing a Sheoldred. The One Ring. And we're going to play Mishra's Bauble here. Probably not. I mean, we'll crack it on their turn after they've attacked. Main deck Haywire Might. Unhinged. Unbelievable. I mean, if we can survive 6 turns without them drawing an answer to Ensnaring Bridge or Shieldred, then down to 5 turns, then the ring will kill them. But, I mean, that's a lot of cards without seeing the ring, Shieldred, any of that stuff, so I don't really like our chances. And they do find another ring, which they're just going to use to not take damage off it. We're going to use this bauble here. Yeah, it'll ping us for 1, but when we draw... Oh, they got protection, right? Should have done it in response to the ring. Alright, we're drawing a Thoughtseize. And we can use it after we... like next turn. The Orc army won't be able to attack here. Assassin's Trophy is an answer to Shieldred, which is very valuable, but does mean that we'll be taking a bit of damage off of this Bowmasters if we elect to hold it. Clunky running. I think this is a matchup that will bring in the sideboard Tarmogoyfs. We're probably not going to show them many creatures game 1, and so hopefully can get them with it game 2. They do appear to not be drawing great after their initial hand. They have another Haywire Might. I mean, that's Ranger Captain's probably why they're playing Haywire Might, as it's a good card to tutor up. Thraben Inspector, just to draw an extra card. We're still going to Thoughtseize them. So if they crack the clue here, kind of fine with that. Although if they sack Ranger Captain on our upkeep, they can stop us from deploying threats and therefore keep our hand big. We can always cast Trophy on their turn if we need to. Yeah, we're gonna take a bit of damage here. I mean, Shieldred is kind of the main card that we care about. Finding Lantern is, I mean, just puts us kind of a Codex Shredder, which we would have had if it wasn't for Haywire Might away. I mean, Blood Moon would be pretty sweet against this list. You know, some people have talked about Red Lantern with Blood Moon. Haven't tried it at all. Don't think it's great. I think I can take the 1. 3 power. They don't have double black, so they can't cast a Shieldred. So we're just gonna. This lets them cast Shieldred if they play basic Swamp, which that seems weird for them to do. Oh man, we are lagging here. Sorry, I'm just gonna pause the recording for 1 second. I don't know exactly why it's not letting us cast the trophy here. Destroy target permanent and opponent controls. They sacked Ranger Captain on our upkeep. I mean, I am clicking it. When I click anything else, that works. So I don't know why I'm not able to trophy here. Now will it let me trophy? I don't have like... Oh, Teferi. Guys, I'm good at Magic. I know what I'm doing. I pay close attention to all of the cards on the battlefield at all times. Slight punt there. If we go down to 4, we take 3 and we're dead to Bowmasters. So I'm just going to take this opportunity, remembering that there's a Teferi on the battlefield, to kill the Bowmasters. Yeah, professional top tier. Come on. Prismatic ending. Top tier Magic content right here. Only the best plays. Exile your pending. Raffine's Tower gives them a redraw if they want it. Into the card that they would redraw into. I mean, they definitely have a lot of hate cards for us, that's for sure. Yes, beginning of combat. Yeah, get in for 2. I mean, if they go to our turn, we're okay with that. We're also okay, like we will obviously use Lantern if they go to cycle the Triome. Otherwise, we just play the second Lantern, play Thoughtseize. Another Teferi we don't care about because it's needled. Yep, they should be cycling the Triome at any moment now. If they do go to cycle the Triome, we're honestly more likely to use Lantern to shuffle away the binding, just because we do kind of want to draw this Profane Tutor. Supreme Verdict. I mean, there's like one good news about this is that there's basically no shot that they leave it in post board. So hopefully the Tarmogoyfs are relevant. So we're gonna let this trigger resolve, and then I mean we have to Pixis here. Let's see. They cycle the Triome. We crack a Lantern in response. And Field of Ruin, not the end of the world here. Field of Ruin in their 5-color domain deck. I mean, that is... that's... like... I mean, I guess they're just mono-white splashing for Surveil lands, the Leyline binding. No, because they're playing double black shield. It's like Field of Ruin is wild. I mean, there are a lot of cards we got to keep them off of here. Drawing a second bridge. It's not super relevant here, as if they draw a removal spell, they'll just be able to answer one of the Pithing Needles, which will then turn on either Teferi or One Ring, probably Teferi, bounce the needle on the ring, draw a bunch of cards with the ring, and yeah. Obviously not great that they found another ring, as it's going to be much slower killing them. Here we're just not going to use Pixis yet, we're going to play it nice and slow, although we should maybe be a bit conscious about time here. Drawing off Bobble, I think is fairly risky. So that does put us dead to another Bowmasters if they were to draw it. Emeria, this is a card that we are going to exile as... Okay, so they're Emeria with Field of Ruin. I mean, this is a deck in Modern. I can crack the Arid Mesa here, but again, without any instant speed ways of drawing cards, we would much prefer them to draw it. Emeria is in a Plains, right? Yeah, alright, you can have your Eagles of the North. So we're going to exile. They may crack their Arid Mesa here, but it doesn't matter if they fetch here. Like without, like I was just saying, without the instant speed draw, as they go to their upkeep, like in Field of Ruin, alright. Yes, I will use that, I guess. It's in the deck. Alright, I guess we'll both exile a... Cookbook can get me slightly out of range of Bowmaster, but I'll be casting Profane Tutor if they don't draw into anything. Important to note, they currently have 1 fetch land available to them. But I think we're in a fairly reasonable position here. Another Teferi. Oh, Profane Tutor and Teferi. Right. Because they have the Arid Maces up anyway, I'm just going to elect to Pixis here, get rid of this Profane Tutor that I don't want because of Teferi on board. Another Pithing Needle I will take. I don't know exactly what I'll needle with it, but it might get them to crack these fetch lands. And it does. I mean, from their perspective, Giant Killer, just looking at what cards they have
They're gonna fetch both times. Honestly, probably Arid Mesa again. I mean, Windswept Heath maybe more likely, but it doesn't really matter. The main value of it was just forcing them to use the fetches that they left untapped, and we are going to have to be pretty conscious about time here. It's been taking a bit too long talking through lines. Exile Shieldred, we can F6 here. Eagles of the North we're fine with. This land we will just discard to Cookbook. Probably draw F6 through this turn. They don't have any ways of drawing, and then with Cookbook like on their upkeep when we're untapped anyway. Draw Solitude, Elish Norn. Again, at this point in the game, it does not particularly matter. I would like, I mean, they're down to 20 cards. I will exile her. Murder Sands? I mean, that is a card you can legally get with Ranger Captain, but I've seen one Ranger Captain. I don't know. Their list is cool. Emeria decks are always pretty sweet. Definitely a different angle of attacking modern. Certainly than the one we're attacking it from. Always nice to run into fun brews and different versions of decks. They are going to upkeep Plane Cycle this Eagles in the North. Bowmasters at this stage of the game we don't care about. So you can draw your Bowmasters. Another Field of Ruin. We're just gonna F6 here. You gotta be a bit much more conscious of time as we're down just over 3 minutes. They didn't play it, but the Codex Shredder here, I think we should be in very good shape, provided we can win this game quickly. It's going to be somewhat difficult to win a game 3 in time, but hopefully we can just pull it out in game 2. Pixis. No you. Another One Ring. I don't care about. Again, F6 through this turn. Ooh, another Shredder on top. I like that. It's I mean, it's all about speeding up the clock at this point, like in terms of our mill clock, not our literal clock. You're gonna field, so we do have to shuffle away the forest, but upkeep we can. Upkeep we got stuff to do. Make a food. Let the One Ring trigger resolve. Activate Pixis. Let him have Solitude. Yield until next end step. Ranger Captain obviously will mill. Hey, okay, and they concede here. 13 cards left, so we don't get to see all of their deck. I think we get to see enough of it that we can have a fairly good idea of what they're trying to do. This is a matchup where we're going to bring in Tarmogoyfs, Goyfs, Torpor Orb. A lot of their deck relied on ETBs, Shadow Sphere, as they do have a decent number of small creatures, specifically Bowmasters, that we would like to trample over. Fatal Push for Shieldred. Then what do we not want? Because we're doing that, we probably trim some number of bridges. Cookbook. I can see Dreams of Steel and Oil. We're going to trim the Profane Tutor as very bad into Teferi. Even if we have a needle on Teferi, we don't really want to be playing a Profane Tutor. And then, this in mind, we'll likely cut 1 Duress and 2 Stirrings. So it's going to leave us with a bit less selection, but hopefully we need it less with these Goyfs.
this is our first time seeing how Goyf performs, so it'll be definitely interesting to see how it goes. On the draw, it's going to be a bit slower, but we got Bobble, Thoughtseize, Goyf, easy keep. Fatal Push for Bowmasters, or holding it for a Shieldred later in the game, which we can trigger off of Mishra's Bauble. Do they have Thoughtseize? I mean, they put a land in the graveyard right away, which is good for us. Just getting a Surveil land early. I mean, putting that, they did leave it on top, which isn't ideal. Because they left it on top, we can do this. Build them for 1. Cast a Bauble. And pass through. I think I skipped this turn too. Don't really want to draw an extra card here. I will eventually untap Hallowed Fountain. Chalice, X equals 1. Not the end of the world. We have Assassin's Trophy. Llanowar Wastes, Goyf. Yeah, well, it'll just be what we use Trophy on. Leyline Binding. Oh, yeah, right, we have Kodak Shredder. Oh, that puts enchantment in there. So Goyf up to a 3/4 already. And we can, if they Field of Ruin us, Teferi, obviously not great. Bounces the Goyf. So we will likely go replay Goyf, get something countered by we're definitely replaying Goyf here, and I guess we could have got the thoughts. Oh, we can't. Oh, we can't cast Fatal Push. Oh, I forgot about Teferi. Come on. Second time this match, we've forgotten about it. Plane Cycles an Eagle of the North, puts a creature in there, Goyf up to a 4/5. We will kill the Teferi because we don't have a needle for it. Temple Garden, Haywire Might again, or Ranger Captain they could have. Chop. Oh, chop down. I mean, this puts an instant into the graveyard. Let's middle them for 1 and then pass through. So they left in Giant Killer. Also puts in Artifact, which was already there. Unfortunately, this can kind of keep our Goyf tapped forever. We are just going to play it out. Oh, sorry, tapped for the wrong color. We got more Goyfs where that came from. And there is no sorcery. I think we're just going to pass through though. We do want to be able to Thoughtseize after we blow up Chalice, if that's the route we go next turn. Although this Teferi ticking up might just be enough to win it here. Yeah, that's like what I'm talking about, why we cut Profane Tutor in matchups like this, where we can't reliably keep Teferi off the battlefield, so it's just such a liability, especially if you take your entire turn 2 off to suspend Tutor, and then they just drop a Teferi, like you're so far behind. Like it's kind of ridiculous. Wonder what they land they get with that. I would have thought a Flying Body would be good here. They just get a Plains. They still don't have Shieldred mana. Although, like, no, they're all playing all Plains for Emeria, so I don't know what their exact plan to cast Shieldred is. Leyline Binding on Goyf? We will likely be bringing in... Okay, so they have Leyline Binding in hand. Here... I mean, we're going to swing at Teferi.
and they play their binding. Bowmasters. Alright. That is a card. Yeah. So now we gotta trophy this Chalice. Playing black, green? Nope, that is green, green. Green, black. Play trophy. Get rid of Chalice. And then cast Thoughtseize. And then hope that their hand isn't too strong. We can start bringing. I think we got it. This is a very strong hand. We gotta take Prismatic Ending here. It's just such a clean answer to most of what we're doing. If they bounce it with Teferi, at least we can replay it. Which is, I mean, Shieldred is not the end of the world here, as they are lacking in green mana. Importantly, that does add sorcery to the graveyard. I mean, if they tap out to play Shieldred, we have answers to it. Unfortunately, we don't have Fatal Push up right now, but if they Teferi down tick, we definitely sack. You play the ring, right? Yeah, so you're gonna play the ring here. We're gonna mill this Teferi. As they can down tick Teferi, play another one. I think we could just go to game 3, try to win it on the play in 10 minutes. As we've used enough time, we don't really have much of a shot in that one. Well, I mean, around game 1 was impressive, like just beating what we were able to fight through. Game 2, not so much. Nature's Claim, honestly, probably for bridge. We do want to leave 1 in, as I always like kind of knowing that it's in there. Although Nature's Claim doesn't hit. Could just bring back the other Duress. I think all the hand disruption we can get on the play is going to be very relevant. If we can go turn 1 hand disruption, turn 2 Goyf, it is pretty solid pressure. Yes, we'd like to play first, and we're going to have to play quickly. This is a mulligan. This is much nicer. We're just going to put the bridge to the bottom. So turn 1, Thoughtseize, then turn 2, have the option of either Goyf or Lock, probably Lock. We're going to take... probably take Binding, and then run out Goyf, hope that they use Pending on the Goyf, as the Goyf will be bigger than Bowmasters. I think if we take Prismatic Ending, though I guess they fetch, which does have to put a land in there. Kind of regret putting the bridge on the bottom. So we don't have a ton of ways of shuffling. Urza Saga would be one of our best draws here. Maybe it's incorrect to side out so many bridges. I don't know. I mean, we're trying out the Goyf plan, right? That's the goal of the league, is to get a bit of a feel for it. So we're playing them. We're gonna bring them in matchups like this where we have to apply pressure. Similar to, oftentimes we would play Life from the Loam in the sideboard, where this fills a similar role. They are going to cast their Pending, like we suspected. And so hopefully we can lock them and find... If they cast Chalice, I would rather them play that than play Bowmasters right now. just because of how long it's going to take us to find an ensnaring bridge. So, I mean, it'd be cool if we had a proliferate card here, just proliferate that chalice up to 2. But you don't play any of those. So they're obviously looking at flashing in Bowmasters, which we do have an answer to the first one, or the token. I'm not sure exactly what will fire it off. We may wait for them to play all 3 and then try to kill the token. Yeah, you got yourself a Bowmasters. And yeah, just knowing one bridge is at the bottom. Did we took out 3? Yep. So we do kind of need some way of shuffling our deck. Honestly, like them casting a Field of Ruin would be good. Jamir's Garden. Let them have it. As we are definitely behind here. Oh, this is going to be a tough one to come back from. I think we just take 2. When they flash in the other Bowmasters, then we can push the token. As we're going to mill ourselves, looking for Saga or Goyf. Duress will allow us to take the Chalice, which we are relatively concerned about. We got Garden and double Bowmasters. Alright, I mean, this is going to be a bit harder. They play a Bowmasters here, head us for 1. Not looking great. Teferi, not good here. I think we go to block. Yeah, we gotta just save this damage here. Cast Fatal Push, target this. Play black. Let's see if this... I mean, they should just let us kill it. Fairly behind here. Just the one good thing is that Teferi we don't care a ton about. And they got enough mana to cycle for him anyway. I think we just gotta dig for I mean, Shredder helps us dig, but I don't think there's much we can do here. Only having 1 copy of Bridge, probably a mistake to side those out, but what can you do? You know we have it. Alright, draw into Teferi. So Teferi can bounce 1 thing. I think we're just dead here. Yeah, we're very dead. Not much we can do. Yep, play your Bowmasters. You're gonna hit us for 1, 2. We're gonna go down to 11. Puts us on a 3-turn clock. So we have to go. It puts us on 3 of your turns, which means it's 2-turn clock for us. I mean, there's a slight, very slight chance. I mean, obviously we're using all of our shredders on ourselves here, but I mean, I'm not too bothered by this game here. More so the that second game against Neobrand. I think that was the real kicker in this league. If kind of the one that I'd want to do again. Thrabesy, you can play. Yeah, you got yourself a Teferi. Where are you gonna bounce? Oh, they ticked up. Trophy isn't good enough here. Like we need to go exactly. Let's see. We play Goyf. They hit us for 4. They hit us for 3. They bounce it with Teferi. Doesn't work. Yeah, we just die here. Alright, tough beats here against Emeria. Maybe a mistake to sideboard the way how we did, but I think when you're testing things, it's worth it to try them. 4 and 5 overall in our game, so actually not too bad of a record. Like in the last league, I was 7 and 6 games wise, but then ended up 2 and 3 with the mono blue version. Maybe I'll put a card to it here if you haven't seen that video. Would recommend checking it out. I actually think the mono blue lantern version is a very exciting one, but I will join you again in the final game. Well, we're starting out round 5 the right way on the play. I mean, no. Really? I mean, yeah, we'll keep it. Put second bridge to the bottom. And then probably play bobble. And I think I'm going to take the safer line of just playing out a cookbook. Lots of decks have removal, so don't hate this here. With stirrings, steam vents, monkey. Steam vents pass. Spell pierce, bolt, stern scolding. I mean, all of those. We're just gonna play a profane tutor here, and hopefully the spell pierce just kind of rots in their hand, as it appears that it did. I think they were likely holding up spell pierce there. Oh no, we don't want to yield through this turn. Oops. Grixis Shadow here is what I am kind of most expecting. So we will likely be getting some form of hand disruption off of the Profane Tutor. It's Grixis Shadow. We're not going to play into Stubborn Denial. If they want to spend a hard counter on Shredder, they have very few answers to it in game 1. Resolved Bridge, that is. And so I can see them... Okay, fetch shocking here. Definitely Shadow. We do now have something in their graveyard, so Drown in the Lock can counter it. And it won't be able to counter Bridge, so I don't think we pop Bobble here. Although if we do pop Bobble, then... If we pop Bobble, and we get the extra card... Oh, Odawara. Oh, this is huge. Yeah, I think we're just going to bobble them, see what they're drawing. If they do have Flame of Anor, and they take out Cookbook here, because it's in the end step, we'll have a chance to play artifacts out in order to keep our Glimmer Voids around. Yeah, but it does look like they have something that they were thinking about. So we'll draw a card. Tidebinder. They might have. No, I guess not. Let's see if they have the counter spell here. Pick Thoughtseize. Love an untapped land. Bit unfortunate, but I think we have to Thoughtseize this turn. Let's see. I mean, we aren't going to do any damage to them, so they are kind of totally reliant on their lands in order to kill themselves, in order to play Shadow. That is one advantage. I mean, Shadow can easily do enough damage to themselves to get under 13. Like, that's what the deck is designed to do. However, we aren't going to help them. We're not going to help them get there. Scalding Tarn. I mean, they have to have some interaction up here, right? Like, they can't not have Regiman, not have Channeler, like... so we... fetch with Tarn? Do they think we have Tidebinder or something? Maybe they're gonna go after a Cookbook now? They're gonna play Bowmasters? Okay. We would... Did I forget to play land last turn? think I may have punted. So I don't have an untapped land to play. Yeah, I think I had access to that last turn. Yikes. I must just not have, whoops, that's actually pretty big here. If they have stubborn denial. Which they, alright, then. No stub. Kind of surprising, I will say. Maybe they have an answer to it already. Flame of Anor, K-Command, both are seeing some main deck play in decks like this, which is not obviously not great for Lantern when common decks are main decking the best heat cards against us. However, I mean, the fact that they've already played Otawara out, Expressive Iteration we're fine with. Yeah, we definitely forgot to play that land on turn 4. Could have been bad. So they are going to be able to play Shadows if they have any in hand. We're going to just suspend Tutor and Crash Shredder. I mean, they might counter it. Counterspell, okay. Another one. We're not going to mill them. They could be playing Murktide, Snapcaster Mage, any sort of card like that. We just don't want to give them access to for free. Kind of minimize helping our opponents as much as possible. Oh, they just bolted us. Yeah, generally a good rule for Modern. You know, if you're going to take away anything from this video, you can take away that you don't want to cast cards that help your opponent. Once again, with the they did have Flame of Anor. I mean, obviously we're in trouble here. It's going to be much harder double Bowmasters. This doesn't kill us before Tutor comes down, but I think it's extremely unlikely that they don't have any interaction for that. As they do know that we suspended it. Lantern here is relevant. What do they got? They got 4 points. I mean, yeah, we gotta mill the counterspell, which is going to end our day. Subtlety we don't care about. You can have a subtlety, my good friend. Oh, and they are playing the Surveil land as well. Obviously, we're gonna see they 100 times out of 100 have counterspell up here. Or they just have Bolt, and we're dead. Well, that is a tough way to start round 5. Is this a matchup where you want Goyf? All their creatures are on the ground. I don't hate it. It can likely grow bigger than Bolt pretty quickly. It can even grow bigger than Flame of Anor. So I don't hate bringing in Goyf and Shadow Spear. Needles, and they have Engineered Explosives, Otawara, but that's basically it, and you rarely need 2 of them. Duress is still good because what I care most about is their creatures, although I could see an argument for some Fatal Pushes. Assassin's Trophy, I think it's just way too slow in this matchup. I'm still a Prismatic Ending guy. I way prefer the versions with white. I think that Prismatic Ending is a significant step up over Assassin's Trophy. That is just me. I think Stirrings is good to come out when we bring in Goyf, and actually no, I'll leave Stirrings in and take out 2 Baubles because of Bowmasters. We'll see. I think Tarmogoyf will catch them by surprise, if nothing else. In that, I mean, you always want the element of surprise. Good thing to have. That is, yes, please keep. I got Construct Pressure. We got the Lock. We got Bridge. They're gonna mulligan. Yeah, here we're gonna play. I probably Thoughtseize on 1 here, just because they run enough Thoughtseize effects of their own. If they're relying on Thoughtseize, we have or if they're relying on Counterspell, we have Urza's Saga to get around the counterspells. If they have something like Regivan, we want to take it so they can't snowball that too early. I mean, here we just take the engineered explosives. Everything else we can play around pretty effectively. And I do like where we're at with this hand. Another kind of any one-drop artifact off the top would be very good here. But as you can see, like with a hand like this, it's very reasonable that they're just gonna tutor for a surveil land. Triple Urza Saga, eh? I mean, give me no shortage of constructs coming. We are just gonna have to time them kind of around when they play Tidebinder. It's gonna be very relevant. They do just get a trial. This might just be like a Wizards type list and not Death Shadow. Hall is what they drew at some point. And double bridge. I mean, we're gonna apply pressure with constructs. They're flash into Bowmasters. We're gonna make it 2/2. And then they can't kill the 2/2, but they're likely gonna bolt it and get in for 2. Or they could hold up Tidebinder. I think either of those are realistic plays from them. If they do hold up Tidebinder, we will probably have to so yeah, clearly representing Tidebinder will depend on what we draw. I mean, I'm just gonna make a construct here. Yes, they are gonna use Tidebinder to counter it, but it's a Tidebinder out of their hand that they're not using against this. This you're gonna Tidebinder? All right, that's fine. We got more where that came from. Okay, you grab your island, and you're gonna play Tidebinder to counter this ability. No problemo. And I mean, if they're not playing Shadow, it's definitely a lot easier for us. We're able to build up kind of a bigger board a bit more safely, where we can attack them a bit more aggressively, and we don't have to worry as much about like bigger creatures than our constructs. Although they are shocking relatively aggressively, they might still have Shadow in there. It looks like Shadow. I just haven't seen a Shadow yet. Bolt, Snap, Bolt. All right. I mean, they got one card in hand, and I mean, here at this point, we are just gonna play a second Saga and play Ensnaring Bridge, as the construct beatdown just don't look like they were getting there this game. They don't have any mana ups, and one card in hand. Gonna play Bridge, another Saga, and Shredder. So if if their last card or their draw here aren't relevant, we're in pretty good shape. And importantly, they didn't see Goyf this game, which is big. Maintains the element of surprise for next game. And likely most of their removal is single target removal for playset of Urza Saga. Put these onto the stack. We'll likely make a construct with untapped Saga. Grab a Lantern. Yep, Urza Saga gets this ability. Play another Saga. Key. Let's see what's under Expressive Iteration. Snappy. Let's just run out the second bridge, and then we'll likely mill them upkeep this time. And as we don't really want them to have a Snapcaster here, just being able to get back the Expressive Iteration is pretty good value. We'll see. We're in
fairly medium position all around. Right, this game's definitely winnable from here, knock on wood. And let's see if our opponent, do they have some form of interaction? Upkeep, we're gonna mill them. Yeah, we got a sack. They can just blow up all of our 1-drops, take out basically nothing from themselves. They're gonna be able to get in for 2 here. Hopefully, I think they just drew the grave for turn as they've made all of their other land drops. So we get hit down to 6. If they have bolt, snap, bolt, we die. So we are going to get Lantern here. Lantern of Insight. You may notice this list isn't playing something like Grafdigger's Cage, which is common in a decent number of other lists. Thoughtseize, bolts, counterspell. So either they have something they were trying to protect, or they just figured we would take it anyway and wanted to cast it. We will make a blocker here. They shouldn't have too much instant speed draw. This is a deck, once you establish the lock, it's relatively easy to maintain it. Build until next end step. But we would like to maintain it. So if we can find another rock, Fatal Push is pretty useless in this situation. They can't attack anyway. Fine, we'll take another Ensnaring Bridge. I'm actually going to name Engineered Explosives here. I think there's a very slight chance that they held on to it in hand. Obviously it's very low. They likely only have 1 or 2 left in the deck, but I think like two mill rocks should be more than enough against them, and therefore it's fine to just play it out here. Unfortunately, they are going to see our Tarmogoyf tech, which isn't ideal, removing some surprises. Goyf overall in this league, I haven't found it like spectacular. I've had some games in I was playing it a bit before just to kind of get a feel for it, and it wasn't amazing by any stretch. But it has its moments. I can see the idea behind it for sure. Brotherhood's End. Yes, we'd like to mill. Ah, yes, the classic fetch to save from a mill. This is a slight PSA. This is not how you use your fetch lands. Why would you get a Surveil land when I have a mill trigger on the stack? This is not how you use fetch lands against Lantern. When you're fetching against Lantern, you want to wait until there are no mill abilities on the stack and you have a bad card on top, like a dead card, sorry. So, for example, this guy here, he would want to wait until his upkeep. You want to do it in your upkeep when you have a dead card on top. That is when you cast, when you crack your fetch lands. Not in response to a mill to protect, one card. Maybe if you have an Emrakul, and I'm using a Pixis to exile it, that's when you use it. Apart from that, just come on, save your fetch lands, especially when his fetch lands have so much value because he's playing the Surveil land. Just save them. It's it is. People are never really going to learn how to play well against Lantern. It's not. I don't anticipate it being common enough anytime soon that people actually need to know how to play against it.
So like here's where you fetch. I mean, I got I have 3 mill rocks out, so it doesn't matter if you fetch right now, but that scenario is the time where you fetch. Like, don't fetch here. Okay, good game. I don't know what their 1 card in hand is, but and we'll take another Gardens. It basically just directly translates into a Codex Shredder at this point. Like, your Surveil lands don't draw you cards, like they just rearrange your top card. So if I'm milling you and you crack a fetch and get a Surveil land in response, either you're going to surveil away something bad, great, or you're going to hit something good, and then you're going to look dumb because you just left a good card on top for me to mill. So, Tidebinder? No, they would have used Tidebinder way earlier. Like here, I mean, if you want to stack up fetch lands like this, fine. I'm gonna have 4 mill rocks, and you have like a grand total of like 3 cards that matter. So, like, flame here, medium, pretty mid, honestly. And I would not be surprised at all. Like, don't crack your fetch. Don't crack your fetch. Don't crack it. Don't crack it. Oh, come on. You gotta learn. You gotta learn. Like, don't crack fetches like this against Lantern. Totally the wrong approach. Like, see, I get to mill your card anyway. Oh, look here, another Flame of Anor. I'm just gonna mill it again. Are you gonna crack one of your other 2 fetches? Especially, like, this is like, so it's their end step. Meaning, even if they get a good card on top, I'm going to be able to upkeep, go to my turn, untap everything, and then just build the good cards again. I'm going to mill your Preordain. Are you going to crack that Steam Vents? Scalding Tarn? Oh, they didn't. Alright, well, making progress. They don't care about Scalding Tarn. Preordain. But here, I mean, it's locked. I'm gonna mill them out. We'll pause the recording and I'll get back when skip ahead a bit. Well, I'm gonna bring us back in slightly earlier here. We have cast Duress and we see they are holding on to an Odawara. Fortunately, we have 3 bridges. I don't know exactly when they plan on using it, but we do have 2 blockers. So we can block 2 1/1s that come in. I think they are using it very incorrectly, but I guess they can use it whatever. They can bounce. Huh. So they can use it to bounce their own Snapcaster. So very important that we cast. I mean, this is oops. Oh, I had to mill that bolt. Oh, we're dead. Yeah, we are. I mean, did not see it? Like, Odawara, bounce Snapcaster, cast bolt. We are dead. Terrible punt there. That's oh, I can't believe I let a bolt through. Because if they just go snap bolt, we're not dead. I have to go like exactly bolt from hand into snap and then bolt. And I knew about it and I totally punted. Oh, that is a rough way. I mean, that's gonna be our best shot at hitting a needle. Rough way to end the league, as here they bolt, bounce, bolt. Yeah, we're dead. Yeah, good game. Total and complete punt at the end. That was, man. Well, I guess when you get to the end of a Lantern League, your brain starts to go a bit. Overall, brief thoughts on the matches. I mean, rough finish. Started out. What did we beat first? Yeah, so we beat the Thopther sword in round 1, just the battle of the artifact decks. Round 2 against Brian Cook from the Epic Storm, with like we win that game if we draw land in any of like those top 4 cards. So I think we had to get pretty unlucky not to
not to pull away with that one. The one against Amulet, game 1 was much closer than game 2. I think game 1, like, we had a very real shot, just couldn't quite put it together. I did like the game plan against that deck, probably shouldn't have kept that hand. Round 4 was the Emeria deck. Overall, I think that one, like, we played well. We somehow won the game where they had turn 1 Haywire or turn 2 Haywire Might and not the next two. And then this last game, yeah, just total punt right at the end there. If I mill the bolts, yeah, they can use flame, like they can Snapcaster, get something back. Yeah, maybe we should have needled Otawara with the Pithing Needle, but I think like they probably play the same number of Otawara as they do engineered explosives there, and so it doesn't really matter which we mill. Overall on the list, I was pretty happy with it. Against the Snapcaster deck specifically, would have liked Grafdigger's Cage. Obviously, we don't lose if we have a cage on the battlefield, which is what I would get over that Pithing Needle that I put on engineered explosives. I think the list is solid. Assassin's Trophy is generally fairly slow, I find. The one situation where it was relevant was against Chalice, but Prismatic Ending also hits that. So I don't think trying Tarmogoyf is a bad idea. I think I liked it definitely in a lot of matchups, but I would play it in a white shell. The other thing we saw was Ingenious Smith out of the Thopther Sword deck has been proposed kind of, if you're in a white shell, maybe instead of Tarmogoyf, just play Ingenious Smith. Mini Ancient Stirrings plus fulfills a similar role. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that list. I'll probably have a poll out sometime next week about what list I play for that one. And in the meantime, have a great weekend, and I will see you in the next one.